Modern AAA games are basically like fast food. They're everywhere. They look amazing in trailers, but once you bite in, it's reheated, overpriced, and somehow already glitching through your plate. I mean, remember when seeing a new game announcement made you feel something other than anxiety? Every big game release now feels like a gamble. You pre-order with hope and wake up to a Reddit thread titled, "Do not buy." So here's the question. Are AAA games actually getting worse? Or are we just jaded, nostalgic weirdos who peaked during the PS2 era? In this video, I'm laying it all out. My rants, my regrets, my hot takes. We're talking broken launches, greedy monetization, recycled open worlds, and yes, why it somehow keeps happening. Alright, just so you know, I'm not here acting like some expert or pretending I've got all the answers. I'm just here to say what most of us are already thinking when that brand new $70 hyped up title crashes 5 minutes after we finally sit down to play. If you've ever rage uninstalled a game, got tricked by a cinematic trailer, or yelled, "What is this garbage?" This video's for you. Let's dive into the madness that is modern AAA gaming. You ever notice how game trailers nowadays are basically mini Hollywood blockbusters? Slick music, dramatic voiceovers, slow motion explosions, and then the actual game launches, and it looks like a fan-made mod from 2008 running on a toaster. This is the hype machine in action, and honestly, it's exhausting. We've been burned so many times, it's wild we still fall for it. Cyberpunk 2077 was supposed to change gaming forever. Keanu Reeves showed up on stage and everything. But instead, what we got was a beautiful, broken mess that barely worked unless you had a supercomputer from NASA. And let's not forget the ultimate catfish, The Day Before. That one went from next-gen survival MMO to Steam removed this game for being a scam in record time. The marketing budgets for AAA games now feel bigger than the games themselves. We get cinematic trailers with zero gameplay, devs talking in buzzword soup like player-centric systems, and immersive emergent storytelling. And somehow, after all that, we still end up with a half-baked mess that needs 5 patches just to boot. Here's the kicker. It didn't used to be like this. You'd see a trailer and boom, gameplay. You'd know what you were getting. If they said coming soon, they meant it. Now, soon means 2 delays, a vague development update, and a studio rebrand. Publishers figured out that if they announce early, throw some flashy concept art into a trailer, and scream, "Next gen," the internet will go feral. And that works. The hype builds, the subreddit lights up, pre-orders open, and that's where they win, before the game even exists in a real, playable way. Then, when the game drops and it's a disaster, no worries. Drop a sad piano trailer called "We Hear You." Tweet about the passion of the dev team, and promise, "We're working hard to fix things." Boom. Damage controlled, and we just accept it. Because they know what we love. They tug on nostalgia. They say, "This is like the classic you grew up with," or "It's like Skyrim but in space, but with guns, but also Pokemon." And we want to believe it's true. Every trailer whispers, "This one's different," and sometimes it actually is. Take No Man's Sky. That game launched as one of the biggest disappointments in modern history. But Hello Games didn't run. They rebuilt it. Updates, expansions, free content. Now, years later, it's actually the game we were promised. Huge respect for that. But let's be real, that's the exception. Most studios don't have the patience or the funding for a redemption arc. When a game flops, they quietly walk away and start teasing the next thing, hoping we forget. And don't even get me started on the not final gameplay disclaimers. That's just lawyer speak for, this might look way worse later, but we don't want to scare you off now. It's a trick, a shield, and a way to dodge responsibility when expectations crumble. Gaming used to be simpler. Demos, hands-on previews, honest dev diaries. Now it's cinematic hype with a sprinkle of actual substance, if we're lucky. So next time you see a mind-blowing trailer at a showcase, just ask yourself, is this a game? Or just a beautifully packaged lie with motion blur? Let's talk about launch day. That magical moment when you finally install the AAA game you've been hyped about for months, and it immediately crashes, or stutters, or drops you into a cutscene where the characters have no faces and your guy T-poses into space like a forgotten Gmod experiment. That's launch day now, and honestly, it's kinda cursed. There was a time when launch day was sacred. You'd go to a midnight release, grab the disc, race home, and actually play the game you just bought. No patches, no server maintenance, no day one meltdowns. Just pure pixelated joy. Fast forward to today. You boot up your shiny new game, and boom, 47 gigabyte update, day one patch. Which basically means, surprise, you downloaded a slightly polished beta. Online only? Good luck. You're now in a queue behind 70,000 other people named Dark Sniper 42, waiting to play a game that might kick you out for server overload or, my personal favorite, just freeze on a loading screen forever. It's become completely normal for games to launch unfinished. Like, you're not even buying the actual game. You're buying the idea of what it might be, eventually. If they fix it, maybe. And this isn't just small studios. This is major publishers. Billion-dollar teams, still dropping games that need CPR on arrival. Battlefield 2042's launch, legendary disaster. It felt more like a tech demo than an actual game. Redfall, that one hit us like a vampire bite. Except instead of losing blood, we lost faith. And, yeah, we get it. Game dev is hard. There's pressure, deadlines, and a million moving parts. But if we're paying $70 for a game, plus deluxe editions, pre-orders, maybe even NFTs now, it should actually work. On day one. Launch day used to be exciting. Now, it's just anxiety with a loading bar. And that's not okay. Alright, let's talk about money. Specifically, how modern AAA games have somehow mastered the dark art of making us pay more for less. Remember when you unlocked cool stuff in games just by playing them? Like, you hit level 20 and got a new outfit. Or beat a boss and earned a weapon you actually wanted. That was the dream. Now, you hit level 20 and the game says, congrats. Now you can pay us for the skin. Microtransactions are the sneakiest villain in gaming. It starts small, a few bucks for a skin, maybe $10 for a battle pass. But then there's a premium currency, and a seasonal event, and limited time bundles. And suddenly your character looks great, but your wallet looks like it just got mugged by a battle pass. And cosmetics are just the start. Some games straight up sneak in pay-to-win mechanics. Better guns locked behind RNG loot boxes. XP boosts because the grind is unbearable by design. Need a legendary drop? Sorry, that's behind a convenience pack that costs $14.99. Otherwise, go farm rats for 6 hours and hope you get lucky. Let's not ignore the psychological warfare. These systems are designed like casinos. Bright colors, timers, artificial scarcity, fake urgency. Limited time offers pop up like they're trying to create FOMO-induced panic. You're not even spending real money. You're spending crystals or coins or alien space tokens that you bought in packs that conveniently never equal the exact amount you need. And remember when Oblivion sold horse armor for like $2 and gamers lost their minds? That's cute now. Today that same armor would be part of a seasonal crossover event, have 3 color variants, and cost $25. And someone on YouTube would post a video defending it. Games have turned into storefronts disguised as entertainment. Especially live service games. You're not playing to win anymore. You're playing to keep up. Finish the daily challenges, unlock this week's cosmetics, complete the season pass before time runs out. It's not fun anymore. It's a chore wrapped in a flashy UI. Battle passes? They're just the evolved form of loot boxes. At least with loot boxes, you knew you were gambling. Battle passes give you a to-do list with the illusion of value, as long as you commit 40 hours a week like it's a full-time job. And if you fall behind, buy tier skips now, on sale. Even single-player games aren't safe. Assassin's Creed, a franchise that used to be about history and stealth, now has XP boosters. In a game you already paid $70 for. Why? Because they padded the XP curve to make you feel like you need one. And we're enabling it. We roll our eyes, post a meme about it, and then still drop $18 on that sweet limited-time anime dragon katana because it has particles and glows. We tell ourselves, it's just this once, but it never is. Worse, some games deliberately design mechanics to frustrate you just enough that spending money feels like the logical option. Want to fast travel? Better buy energy. Want to upgrade gear without a 2-hour grind? There's a pack for that. It's manipulation disguised as convenience. Look, I'm not saying all microtransactions are evil. Some games do it right. Cosmetic-only models? Cool. Free-to-play games that need support. Totally fair. But when you build your entire game around monetization first and fun second, you've officially stopped being a game and started being a vending machine. AAA games shouldn't feel like a shopping mall with side quests. Let's talk about open worlds. Or, should I say, the same open world, copied, pasted, and lightly reskinned into 47 different games. You know the drill. There's a massive map, 300 icons, 9 million collectibles, and a tower you climb to reveal even more icons. Every enemy outpost is conveniently designed like a theme park attraction. Disable the alarm, take out the guards, hold square to loot, rinse, repeat. Open worlds used to feel like actual places. Like you were discovering something mysterious and alive. Morrowind made you read road signs. Red Dead Redemption 2 made you stop and stare at sunsets. Now, you're fast traveling from one cookie-cutter objective to another like a bored Uber driver. Ubisoft basically wrote the formula. Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon. They all follow that rinse and repeat design. Climb a tower, unlock map chunks, collect feathers, clear outposts, gather weirdly specific loot. You're not playing the game, you're checking boxes. And the thing is, it works at first. You get that satisfying dopamine hit when you complete a task. But 5 hours in, when you've done the same camp clear mission 12 times with slightly different terrain and the same recycled voice lines, the illusion starts to break. It's bloated content, stuffed into the world to make it seem full. Over 100 hours of gameplay, they shout on the box. But if 60 of those hours are just you picking flowers and climbing towers, what's the point? Even beautiful games fall into this trap. Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, even Jedi, Survivor. Stunning graphics, top-tier animation, and yet, you're still collecting berries to upgrade your gear. Why am I always collecting berries? Who is stealing all our wallets and replacing them with berry recipes? The truth is, bigger isn't better. I'd rather have a smaller, handcrafted world with secrets, stories, and weird surprises than a massive empty map filled with checklist chores. And let's be real, it's not even about innovation sometimes, just effort. You can tell when a world was built with care versus when it was pumped out to meet a quarterly deadline. Open world design doesn't have to be boring, but when every game feels like a reskin of the last one, it's hard not to get déjà vu. We notice, and we're getting tired. Let's be honest, some modern AAA games look incredible, sound incredible, even control smoothly, but somehow, they're just not fun. It's wild, right? You've got a game with motion-captured actors, ray tracing, 3D audio, and a budget the size of a small country's GDP. And yet, 5 hours in, you're like, why am I bored? Because somewhere along the way, studios forgot that video games are supposed to be fun. Not just impressive, not just cinematic, actually fun. A lot of these games are so obsessed with being epic that they forget how to be enjoyable. Everything's gotta be huge. Huge story, huge map, huge stakes. The world is always ending. You're always the chosen one. And while that can be cool, it's exhausting when every game tries to be a Hollywood blockbuster with side quests about your sad backstory and a crafting system no one asked for. Sometimes I just want to mess around in a game, not save the world, not rebuild society, just have a good time. Launch a cow with explosives, drift a truck off a cliff, hit a goose with a frying pan. You know, video game nonsense. Remember when games had charm? When characters were weird and levels were clearly designed by someone who just wanted to make you smile. When an Easter egg felt like a real secret and not just a checkbox for an achievement. Now, too many AAA games feel manufactured, like they were stitched together in a boardroom. Let's add stealth, let's add crafting, let's add a morality system no one uses. None of it adds fun, it just adds fluff. But here's the thing, we can tell. Gamers know when something's got soul, when it was made by devs who love the weird stuff, the janky stuff. The offbeat mechanics that make games unforgettable. We're not asking for perfection. We're asking for passion. For games that dare to be a little different. Even if they're messy, we want to laugh again. To be surprised again. To play something that feels alive. Is that really too much to ask? All right, deep breath. This might sting a little. Because, yeah, some AAA games are a mess. Overpriced, rushed, recycled. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes we, the gamers, might actually be part of the problem. Hear me out. We pre-order everything. We see a cinematic trailer with zero gameplay and go, yep, day one. Then we get mad when it launches broken. I've done it. You've probably done it. We all got tricked by a shiny trailer at least once. It's like a rite of passage at this point. We defend our favorite studios like they're our childhood best friends. Sure, the game's rough now, but wait until the patch. It's not that bad if you just turn off motion blur, lower the shadows, play offline, avoid the side quests, and don't breathe near water. Come on, be for real. And console wars, still a thing in 2025. Whole communities trashing each other's games, not because they're bad, but because they're not on their box. Like, bro, the PS5 and Xbox Series X both play games. It's not a religion. We click on leaks, obsess over hype, and treat delays and broken launches like they're just part of the package now. Some of us even say, I'll wait for the GUTI edition, which basically means I know they're going to fix it eventually, and I'm cool with that. Are we? And money-wise, we clown on microtransactions, and then buy the $19.99 glowing dragon katana with sparkles because it's limited time. We complain about battle passes, but we grind the whole thing out, and sometimes buy the tier skips too. I'm not judging. I've done it. But let's be honest, we're not powerless here. Gamers have serious influence. If we stop pre-ordering half-baked games, studios will take notice. If we start celebrating finished products and calling out the lazy stuff, we'll actually shift the culture. We don't need to be perfect, but we could definitely be smarter. The game industry's messy, yeah, but sometimes we're the ones keeping it messy. All right, let's take a break from the doom and gloom for a sec. Because despite all the nonsense, not everything in gaming sucks. Believe it or not, some developers still care. Like, really care. About quality. About innovation. About making games that are actually fun. Larian Studios? Absolute legends. They dropped Baldur's Gate 3 and reminded the whole industry what a finished, content-rich RPG looks like. No battle passes, no microtransactions. Just vibes, dice rolls, and absolute chaos involving talking animals and poorly planned romances. Take a look at From Software, which is consistently doing their own thing. They don't follow trends, they make them. Every time they drop a game, people complain that it's too hard and unforgiving, and then sink 150 hours into it like they're trying to get a diploma in dodging. Insomniac Games? These folks are machines, in the best way. They crank out polished, heartfelt, bug-free games that actually launch on time. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, they're all hits. And you can feel the love in every frame. And don't sleep on the indie devs. That scene is a goldmine. Hades, Celeste, Dead Cells, Hollow Knight. Small teams, big heart. These games don't just entertain, they connect. They're handcrafted with passion and vision, not committee meetings and monetization checklists. Even in the AAA chaos, there are bright spots. The Resident Evil remakes have been fire. God of War Ragnarok brought emotional storytelling and satisfying combat. And Elden Ring. That game made everyone remember why open worlds can still be magical. No cash grabs required. These games prove something huge. It's still possible to make incredible experiences without drowning players in microtransactions or launching a broken mess. Studios that respect players and prioritize fun, they earn loyalty, simple as that. There's something magical about a game that clicks. The controls are tight, the story hits, the world sucks you in, and you forget time exists. That feeling, it's why we play. So yes, the industry has problems, but let's not pretend it's all bad. Great games still happen. Talented devs are still out there making magic. And if we support them more than the nonsense, maybe we'll start seeing more of what we actually love. So, with all this chaos in the AAA scene, what actually needs to change? First off, stop launching games before they're ready. That one's easy. Nobody wants to spend $70 just to become a glorified beta tester. If your game needs more time, take it, delay it, be honest. A delayed game can be fixed. A rushed game gets roasted on Reddit. Next up, chill with the monetization. We get it. Money has to be made. But when the pause menu looks like a checkout counter, you've gone too far. Battle passes, XP boosts, $25 skins, and Founders Editions for games that aren't even finished yet. Come on, at least let us beat the tutorial before asking for our credit card. Also, respect the player's time. Not every game needs to be a 120-hour epic saga with 45 side quests and 3 skill trees. Some of us have jobs, some of us have kids, and all of us have a backlog the size of Mount Everest. Tighter, focused experiences are not a bad thing. Studios should stop chasing trends too. Not everything needs to be open world, live service, or a roguelike deck builder with crafting mechanics and randomly generated soup. Try something fresh, or weird, or funny. Just don't chase what's hot. Create something memorable. And the big one, listen to your players. Not the loudest trolls on Twitter, but the real ones. The ones giving honest feedback, praising what works and calling out what doesn't. The best games come from studios that respect their audience, not just their investors. But hey, it's not just on them. We have to do better too. Stop pre-ordering games just because the trailer had a cool sword. Don't defend trash just because it's from your favorite studio. Reward devs who do it right. We don't need every game to be perfect. We just want them to be made with care, with soul, with fun in mind. Gaming isn't just business, it's art. And the best art comes from passion, not pressure. If we all make smarter choices, devs, publishers, and players, we might just fix this mess. And maybe, just maybe, the best era of gaming hasn't passed us by. Maybe it's next. So, are modern AAA games getting worse? Yeah. In a lot of ways, they kinda are. We've got overpromises, broken launches, monetization everywhere, and games that feel more like jobs than fun. The magic, the stuff that made gaming feel exciting, is getting smothered by deadlines and dollar signs. But here's the thing, the spark isn't dead. It's just hiding. For every disappointing cash grab, there's a dev pouring love into their game. For every bloated, buggy launch, there's a title that reminds us why we fell in love with gaming in the first place. Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, Hades. Proof that when studios prioritize fun over profit, people notice. We're not helpless in all this either. We shape this industry, we decide what trends die and which ones survive. When we support creativity and push back against garbage, we're voting for a better future, one game at a time. So no, AAA games aren't totally doomed, but they could use a serious reset. So let's keep that energy going, louder, smarter, and with way more honesty. And maybe we're the generation that helps pull the plug and reboot the system. If this hit home, drop a like, share it, and tell me in the comments, are AAA games really getting worse? Let's start the conversation.